Welcome. Our topic today is the solar system. The solar system. In this topic, we are going to be learning on some facts about the solar system and why it is so amazing. Have you ever wondered how the world around you works? How the sun shines? Why there is day and night? And why it rains? Now, scientists called astronomers have tried to come up with an answer to the questions about the way the world works. Who is an astronomer? An astronomer is a scientist in the field of astronomy. Okay, is a person who studies on a specific question or a field outside the space of the earth. So they observe some astronomical objects such as the stars. They observe the planets, the moons, the comets, and the galaxies. Okay, so let us look at the solar family. The solar family. Now, the solar family is the system which is comprised of the sun, which is the head of the solar family. So the sun is the head of the solar family, the 8 planets and their natural satellites. Then you have the dwarf planets, asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Now, this is the solar system. The image before you, you see the sun at the middle. Then you see the 8 planets revolving and rotating around the sun. So the solar family comprised of the sun as the head of the solar family. Then the 8 planets, the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Okay, Pluto used to be a planet, but it's now classified as a dwarf planet from 2006. So what makes up the solar family is the sun, the 8 planets, the satellites, that's the moons, the dwarf planet, asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Now let's look at the sun as a star. The sun as a star. Now the sun is a star. A star is a body of matter in space that gives off its own light. So sun is a star, a very big star that gives us its own light. So when you look up there into the sky, know it that those little stars you feel they are little, they are larger than even the sun. They are bigger than the sun. So anything that can give us its own light in space is known as a star. So sun is a star. Next, we'll continue with the sun, okay? We'll continue with the sun. Now, the sun does not orbit the earth. It's the earth that goes around the sun. So it is the earth that goes around the sun. That is why you have day and night. It takes the earth 365 days to go round the sun. But it takes the earth 24 hours to rotate on its own axis. So when the earth is rotating on its own axis, as it's moving around from morning till night, during the day, as it moves around and exposes itself to the sun, you have day. So as it backs off the sun, that is when you will have night, and that is how it goes around in other parts of the world. So the sun does not orbit the earth. Instead, it is the earth that goes around the sun. Now, the sun is a huge ball of very hot gas. Okay, have you imagined dipping your hand into a hot boiling water that is 100 degrees centigrade? You know how hotful it is. The sun is over 6,000 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is made up of hydrogen and helium. The sun, the gases inside the sun is known as hydrogen and helium. It produces all the heat and light in our solar system. So the sun produces all the heat and light in our solar system. Now, we've talked about the sun. Now, let's talk about the planet. A planet is a body that orbits the sun. It has a rounded shape and big enough to clear its orbiting space of other planets. Now look at the sun at the middle of this image. Now the 8 planets are orbiting round the sun. They are going round the sun. So as they are moving around, anything that is blocking their way, they are big enough to clear it off. So a planet is that body that orbits the sun, has a rounded shape and big enough to clear its orbiting space of other planets. Now we are going to look at the major planets. Let's listen to this song. It will help us to know the order in which these planets are from the sun. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now, can you sing with me? The major planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Now, these are the 8 major planets. Like I told you, there used to be 9. Pluto used to be a major planet, but now it's categorized as a dwarf planet from 2006. So we say that the major planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. The first 4 are very small in size, while the last 4 are large in size. So the small 4, first 4, they are the inner planets, while the other 4 are known as the outer planets. Okay, now the dwarf planets. The dwarf planets include Pluto, Eris, and Sydney. Can you see them? Okay, that's the dwarf planet. Now, what type of galaxy do we live in? What type of galaxy do we live in? Now, the galaxy which our solar system belongs to is the Milky Way. Let me put it this way. The solar system is part of a bigger galaxy called the Milky Way. Just like a neighborhood might be part of a bigger city. So you have your neighborhood, you live in your neighborhood. So all our neighborhoods are part of a bigger city in this Benin city. I think you understand it very well. So a neighborhood is part of a bigger city. So a solar system is part of a bigger galaxy. So what type of galaxy do we live in? The galaxy which our solar system belongs to is known as the Milky Way galaxy. You can see the image before you. Okay, now let's see some facts about the planets. Facts about the planets. Now you have the inner planets. There are 4. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are the inner planets. Okay. While the outer planets are, okay, we said Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are the outer planets. They are larger, okay? So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, while Neptune is the planet that is farthest from the sun. So the farthest planet away from the sun is Neptune. But the Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. Now let's look at the Earth, okay, the Earth. Human beings live on the planet Earth. We all live on the planet Earth. It is only Earth as a planet that permits human beings to live because it has everything that can make humans live. 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, so the Earth is also known as the water planet. Now let's look at the rotation of the Earth. It is this rotation of the Earth that causes day and night. Now it takes the Earth 24 hours to rotate on its axis, causing day and night. So as the Earth rotates and faces the sun, you will have day. As it backs the sun, that is when you start experiencing night. So rotation of the Earth 24 hours on its axis. When the Earth rotates on its own axis, that is what causes day and night, 24 hours. But it takes the Earth 365 days to go round the sun. To go around the sun. I hope you are understanding what we are talking about. Now, the equator is that imaginary line that divides the Earth into 2 equal halves. You have the northern hemisphere, which is the upper part of the Earth, then the southern hemisphere, which is the down part of the Earth. Can you see that image showing the equator, the imaginary line, trying to divide the Earth into 2 equal parts? Okay, now the big onion. Have you ever seen onion used in making our meals? Have you seen the way that when onion is being peeled, first layer is peeled off, second layer is peeled off, third layer, then you see the inner layer. That is how our earth is. Now when you open the earth, like the image there, the outer layer is known as the crust, very thin layer, it's not thick. Then you have the mantle. The mantle is followed, which is soft hot rock. Then the outer core is the third layer. It's filled with molten metals. Then you have the inner core, center of the earth. That is where the sun burns, okay? It's very hot, over 7,000 degrees centigrade. So that's the big onion, that's the earth. Now, we have talked about the big onion. Let's look at the earth's atmosphere. Okay, now the space around the earth is called the atmosphere. When you sit down, the spaces around you, when you put your hand in the air, you know you can't hang. So you say the space around the earth is called the atmosphere and consists of gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. So these gases, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, makes up the gases in the atmosphere. Reasons why the earth is the only planet that has living things. First, gases in the atmosphere. So there is carbon, there is nitrogen, there is oxygen to help life live. Another reason why the earth is the only planet that has living things is that animals breathe in oxygen and then they breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants produce oxygen and breathe in carbon dioxide. Then the ozone layer protects us from the dangerous rays of the sun. Other planets, humans can't live in it. It's only in the earth planet that humans can live. And the earth has only one moon. Other planets have 3 moons, 4 moons. Jupiter have 12 moons, okay? The moon have no light of its own. It gets its light from the sun. So the moon is 25% about the size of the earth. What we mean is that, first, the sun is bigger than the earth. The sun is very, very big, followed by the earth. Then the earth is bigger than the moon. So the moon have no light of its own. The sun is very big ball. It's bigger than the earth, and the earth is bigger than the moon. So the moon is 25% the size of the earth. It has no light of its own. Now the moon has mountains, just the way we have it on earth here. It has valleys and bowl-like holes. Those holes are known as craters. They are known as what? Craters. Craters. That is the hole that you see in the moon. So that's the image of the moon before you there. Okay, so that's the image of the moon. Now, there are what we call asteroids, comets, and meteors. These are other things that are in the planet Earth. Asteroids, comets, and meteors. Okay, asteroids is just a small rocky body orbiting the air. It looks like a stone. True, it looks like a stone when you see it. It's moving inside the space. Okay, that's the asteroid. It's like a stone. Okay, now you have the comet. Comet is like an icy small solar system body that when passing close to the sun, it melts off. And when it melts off, it releases a gas, and that process is called gassing. Then the meteor is a piece of rock. Okay, the piece of rock is a metal that burns very brightly when it enters the earth. That's the meteor. Okay, so now look at the image of the asteroid. See, it's looking like a big rock. All these things, they move around the sun, they move in the space. Okay, that is the asteroid. Now let's look at this interactive question. Let's see if you'll be able to answer some of those things. Now, first list the names of the planets in order of their distance from the sun. You have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Then body of matter in space that produces its own light is called what? A star. Any body of matter in space that can make its own light is called a star. So sun is a star. Depending on the heat it has. If the heat is high, it will be yellow or blue or green, depending on the heat. That is what gives the star or the sun the color. How hot is the sun? The sun is 6,000 degrees centigrade hot. So it's as hot to the degree of 6,000 degrees Celsius. Now, which 2 gases make up the sun? You have helium, okay, the 2 gases that make up the sun. Okay, that is what for the 2 gases. Now, the third planet to the sun is the Earth. The third planet to the sun is the Earth. So we said nitrogen and hydrogen and helium are the two gases that make up the sun. Hydrogen and helium, they are the two gases that make up the sun, but the third planet to the sun is the Earth. Okay, so that is that. Thank you for watching this video. Now, from all these explanations, you will be able to answer the questions on your exercise 18. Okay, so you make sure you answer properly and then you upload for grading. Thank you and